Staying on with the story, now the United States and Europe have urged to stop alleged sexual violence by its army and proxies in Ukraine. Allegations that Moscow denounced as lies. The pleas were made during a meeting of the UN Security Council. Listen in.
Although the full scale of conflict-related sexual violence is not yet known, human rights activists and law enforcement agencies estimate that hundreds of cases have been committed, not just against women and girls, but also men and boys and people of other gender identities and of all ages.
At the UNSC meet, Moscow was also accused of triggering global food crisis. The European Council president tore into Russian envoy as he accused Moscow of fueling a global food crisis with its invasion of Ukraine. Russia's UN ambassador Vasily Nebenzia stormed out of the meet on Monday during European Council President Charles Michel's address.
Let's be honest. The Kremlin is using food supplies as a stealth missile against developing countries. The dramatic consequences of Russia's war are spilling over across the globe, and this is driving up food prices, pushing people into poverty and destabilizing entire regions. And Russia is solely responsible for this food crisis, Russia alone, despite the Kremlin's campaign of lies and disinformation. I've seen it with my own eyes a few weeks ago in Odessa. Millions of tons of grain and wheat stuck in containers and ships because of Russian warships in the Black Sea and because of Russia's attack on transport infrastructure. And it is Russian tanks, Russian bombs and mines that are preventing Ukraine from planting and harvesting. The Kremlin is also targeting grain storages and stealing grain in Ukraine while shifting the blame on others. This is cowardly, this is propaganda, pure and simple propaganda. You may leave the room, maybe it's easier not to listen to the truth, the ambassador.
The Russian envoy seemed annoyed by European envoy's remarks. He refuted all allegations, calling them a lie, and then stormed out of the meet, to which the European Council president said that Russia was just avoiding the truth. Listen in.
I would once again like to categorically refute any accusations against Russian service personnel of sexual violence. We roundly condemn this lie.
And India's representative at the UNSC meet said that the nation was committed to working constructively in mitigating the adverse impact of the Ukraine war on food security. Listen in.
The developed world needs to do much more to alleviate the adverse impact this is making on day-to-day lives of the people living in vulnerable countries. India is committed to work constructively in mitigating the adverse impact of the conflict on food security and in ensuring that vulnerable countries have sufficient cushion against fluctuations in the global market. In order to manage our own overall food security and support the needs of neighboring and other vulnerable developing countries, we had announced some measures that allow for wheat exports based on approvals of those countries who are required to meet their food security demands. Such a policy will ensure that countries in need are given priority.
Russia's February 24th invasion of Ukraine has fueled a global food crisis, leading to soaring prices of grains, cooking oils, fuel and fertilizers. Russia and Ukraine account for nearly a third of global wheat supplies, while Russia is also a fertilizer exporter and Ukraine is an exporter of corn and sunflower oil. The war between Russia and Ukraine has affected the global food supply chain. Owing to the crisis, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is trying to broker a package deal to resume Ukrainian food exports and Russian food and fertilizer exports. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is due to visit Turkey on Wednesday to discuss unlocking grain exports from Ukraine.